Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are going to be talking about our lymphatic system and how we can get ready to detox our body using that system. Information comes from an article by Dr. Jocker called Lymphatic Cleansing, 8 ways that you can clear your lymphatic congestion. If you have any questions, please feel free to give Dr. Udani a quick text and she'll be happy to answer any of your questions. I wanted to welcome Dr. Udani here. She is our naturopathic doctor at the Justine Blainey Wellness Center, but she's also my naturopathic doctor as well. And she is super, super passionate and in regards to women's health, but also like stress and chronic pain and digestion. Loves to talk about digestion. But she really does genuinely believe that everyone has the ability to make healthy, long-lasting changes. Please help me welcome Dr. Udani.
Thank you so much, Angela. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining this talk. We have a lot of great information coming in the next minutes about the lymphatic system. So stay tuned. We have some amazing upcoming webinars on cosmetics and the forever chemicals. We have another talk on the importance of good circulation. It's just so necessary for proper health, and also about if your mid-back is stiff after a long day, what are some exercises we could do to get you to go and be more flexible. And we also have one about Beyond the Belly Makeover, about decoding your digestive health with Dr. Justine. So lots of exciting talks coming up. Let's jump right into the lymphatic system and how to clear your lymph congestion. So the lymphatic system is one of those systems that is very, very important to us, but not a lot of people really talk about it. We know about the nervous system. We know about the immune system. We know about our digestive system, but the lymphatic system is also equally important. I like to call it the toxin highway, because the lymphatic system is what helps clear out toxins. It also supports your immune system, and it also helps with transporting different nutrients, especially fat, throughout your body. So it's very important for your immune system, because the lymphatic system is what helps to give signs if something is wrong to the immune system. So if it's congested, it's not going to be great at sending those signals to the immune system to show that something is off. For example, infections or other diseases and even cancer. So we want to make sure our lymphatic system is moving as smooth as it can be. So our lymphatic system, its main role is to maintain the fluid balance. So if you notice, after a long day at work, or you might be, a little bit overweight, you might notice some congestion or some fluid retention in your lower legs. So that is a sign that your lymphatic system is having some trouble, because the lymphatic system's main role is to maintain that fluid balance. So we have lymph nodes and lymphatic vessels that are just beneath the skin that help with maintaining this balance. And what it does is, when there's excess fluid, it helps to drain it into the circulatory system. And if it's working well, you don't necessarily experience any major swelling. You don't experience major pains and joint pains and things like that. So these lymph vessels are super thin, and they're small. So unlike our circulatory system, which is composed of arteries and veins, the lymphatic system has nodes, these little centers. So they're all over your body, under our armpit, all down our neck. Right here is our main, the drainage point of the lymphatic system. This is where the lymphatic vessels connect to our circulatory system. We also have lymph nodes, under our armpit, right across our chest down here, right by the groin, and behind our knees as well. So this is where the lymphatic fluid drains into these nodes. And the nodes also help to keep an eye on if there is any kind of infections, any kind of suspicious cells, and can alert the immune system if there's something going on. So the lymphatic system usually works quite well. If you're healthy and if you are active and you have enough circulation, and enough hydration, it works pretty well. But what can happen is sometimes this can get congested. And our lymphatic system also includes some organs. So for example, the tonsils. Now, you might have got yours taken out, or when you were little. But these tonsils really help. They're like beacons for infection. So if there is some kind of infection going on, some pathogens, they get swollen, right? As a sign from the lymphatic system telling the immune system that, hey, something is off here. There is an infection happening. So then there's also the spleen. The spleen is a little bit below on the left side. It helps to filter out blood flow. And there's also the thymus. These are all parts of the lymphatic system. So why is lymphatic circulation so important? So it's the lymphatic fluid that that can help track, the bacterial toxins or different kinds of bacteria. Because what happens is, this fluid this lymphatic fluid bathes the cells and kind of flush out all the toxins out of the cells into those lymphatic vessels. And so the lymph vessels then travel all through the body, and we have those lymph nodes, which help as the control centers to kind of keep an eye to make sure the fluid, there's nothing wrong, nothing is suspicious. And then it gets drained into the circulatory system. And this repeats over and over and over and over again in the body. So in those lymph nodes is where we have the white blood cells that help trap what's going on. So let's go into some of the signs that you have a sluggish lymphatic system. So some causes is, chronic stress. Chronic stress tends to kind of be bad all across the board. It affects your whole body, and it affects the lymphatic system too. So it can slow down this lymphatic circulation. It can, of course, lower your immune system too. And acute or chronic infections all the time. You might notice when you have a cold or flu, you get your tonsils, if you still have them, they can get swollen. Or the back of your throat feels really, you get a sore throat. That's part of the lymphatic system as well. Or if you, feel go down your throat, for example, you might notice some swollen glands when you're fighting an infection. That is the sign that the lymphatic system is active and it's trying to help you fight this infection. Gut dysbiosis, causes inflammation all over the body, and it will affect the lymphatic system because your digestive system is connected to the lymphatic system as well. The lymph is where most of the fat is transported throughout our body. So if there's problems in the digestive system, there's going to be some problems in the lymphatic system too. Toxin accumulation. So this is where, let's say you are exposed to a lot of chemicals, a lot of scents, a lot of perfumes, or, makeup, detergent, household items, food packaging, this, and even mercury, for example, or lead from our pipes, that will accumulate in the lymphatic system and in our fat as well. So that will cause the lymph system to be sluggish. Dehydration is one of the most common signs. So I have so many patients that come see me that say they only drink 2 glasses of water a day. Now that is not, yes, that may seem like, it might be okay, and you only drink when you're thirsty, but you're actually supposed to drink, proactively, and up to 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. So when you're dehydrated, your lymphatic fluid decreases. So there's not enough fluid for it to be working properly. Sedentary lifestyle. So like I mentioned before, the lymphatic vessels are very superficial. So they don't have any muscles to really push them up and down. So we need to be exercising, or we need to be moving around for this lymphatic system to be pumping, and especially from our legs all the way up here. And nutrient deficiencies is another big one, because like all systems, our body needs certain nutrients to help make function better. So what are some symptoms of lymphatic congestion? First, it's fatigue. So you might feel very, very tired. This might be after a cold or flu. You might feel stiffness in the muscles and joints. It might be harder for you to move your joints, especially lower leg area. Bloating, holding on to water is a big one. So water retention. I ask my patients, one of the best ways to figure out if you have water retention is, let's say you weigh yourself in the morning and then you weigh yourself again at nighttime. And if you feel like there's a big difference in your weight, like let's say more than 2 pounds, 3 pounds, then that could be water retention. So you're holding on to that water. Breast swelling during your cycle. So during the end of your cycle, before your period, that is also can be a sign of congestion. Itchy and dry skin, one of the main ones. This is because of dehydration, but also because of lymphatic congestion. But some other more specific causes would be, or symptoms would be, brain fog, because your brain's not being flushed out of its toxins, the daily byproducts it produces. Headaches, weight gain, swollen glands. So like I mentioned, if you feel like your glands here are constantly swollen, or under your armpit it feels swollen, right by your groin there's a swelling, cold hands and feet because of the flow is blocked, chronic colds, sore throats, ear issues. That means that that system up here is blocked and not draining properly. Skin problems, things like acne, eczema, psoriasis can also be because of this improper flow. And cellulite, because we do need the lymphatic flow to be proper in order for the fat to be moving, right? So with cellulite, when there's excess, that could be because of lymphatic congestion. So that's why we really, really want to make sure our lymphatic system is moving well, because you're seeing that there's a lot of symptoms all through the body that could be because of a sluggish lymphatic system. So how do we clean the lymphatic system? So this is where we really want to, because it sounds a little overwhelming, right? But just like any system, we want to figure out where are its main points of clearance. So like I mentioned before, the lymphatic system has these lymphatic nodes, and they're mostly concentrated in certain parts of the body. So if we massage them gently, it can become activated and the flow can start to work. So the main area where the lymphatic system drains into your circulatory system, so this is where it connects, and we call them the main lymph ducts, is right in the upper chest area. So right here is where we want to massage. Sometimes you want to do it towards the chest. So in this motion, even here from the neck down, from upper neck all the way down to this region, you want to do both sides because there's two ducts in both sides. This is where you really want to start and moving it well. Deep breathing. So a lot of times when we're stressed, we don't breathe that deeply. We have the shallow breathing. So that also can block the lymph vessels because they're very gentle, they're very superficial. They can get easily squished. So you want to do deep breathing. That can help with the oxygen supply, but can also help with movement of the lymphatic fluid. Stress reduction techniques can, help with the relaxation of the muscles to help push the toxins out of us. Healthy posture. So I know Dr. Justine talks a lot about this, but we have this like texting neck, or we are always hunched over. That is also going to block the lymphatic flow. So exercise to help open up your chest cavity, relax your back muscles can really help with this too. And there's other strategies like massages. So lymphatic massages, dry brushing can stimulate the lymphatic flow. So there's a lot of these strategies we're going to talk in detail now. So let's talk about the 8 ways we can clear the lymphatic congestion. So first off, we are doing deep breathing. There's optimal hydration. We need regular exercise and rebounding. There's dry brushing and healing baths. There's also lots of teas and herbal therapies that I'm going to talk about too. Alternating hot-cold showers is also a great way to boost your lymphatic circulation. Massage therapy and sauna therapy. So let's jump right in. Deep breathing. So a lot of us know about, when you take a deep breath, our chest expands, but we also want our belly to expand a little bit too, like those deep belly breaths, because what that means is you're pushing down your diaphragm. So your diaphragm sits right below your rib cage, and it's right on top of your stomach. So when we're just breathing those shallow breaths, it's kind of sitting there. But if we take a deep belly breath, it's actually helping to push the diaphragm and expand it so that way we get more air into our lungs. And this also helps us with other kind of detoxifications because, we're increasing our oxygen capacity. We're breathing in more oxygen. So average person, just like the regular person, takes about 12 to 18 breaths per minute. And these tend to be those, the short, shallow breaths, like very short, like very shallow. So we want to be able to decrease the amount of breaths we take, but increase the quality of those breaths. We take deep breaths and we hold for a little bit and then you release them. So in this diaphragmatic breathing, you breathe deeply through your nose, hold it for 4, and exhale for 2 counts through your mouth. So you can gradually increase this, and you can hold and release your breath until you can hold for 20 counts and release for 10. So you exhale, so you gradually breathing in for 20 and then slow exhale for 10. The slow exhale is very important because it activates your relaxation. And you can repeat this 2 to 3 times per session. And this can really open up your chest cavity. So this is something you can even do when you're feeling stressed, because this helps to turn on your parasympathetic nervous system. Instead of you being in that fight or flight, you get into that rest and digest mode. Next up is we have optimal hydration. Like I mentioned before, without enough water, the lymphatic flow can't flow properly. You know, it's like if we try to water a plant, right? And if we're only giving it 1 drop, the plant's not going to flourish. We need to give it, you know, enough water in order for the leaves, the roots, the stem to look nourished and get bigger instead of looking wilted. So that's why we need lots of water in our system. I tell my patients, start the day with 1 glass of room temperature water. You can put a little bit of lemon in there. It can help to alkaline your environment, so reduce the acidity. You can also add a pinch of Himalayan salt into your water just to kind of help get you the electrolytes. And drink before you're thirsty. You know, don't wait until you're thirsty to drink water. That means it's actually too late. We want to drink way before you're thirsty. And ideally, a rule of thumb is you want half of your body weight, okay, in pounds, half of your body weight in ounces. So let's say you're 120 pounds. You need 60 ounces of water a day just to go by. You need more if you're exercising. So that's how much water we actually need to be drinking in order to feel good and in order to get that optimal lymphatic flow. So strategy number 3 is we need to do that regular exercise and movement. So important that we don't just sit around, you know, we watch TV. So this is something that my mom is guilty of, is that she goes to work, she's driving, she's at work now, she's sitting, comes home, she's driving, so she's sitting. And then when she gets home, she's like, I'm so tired, I can't do anything. So she's sitting in front of the TV. So there is no movement there, to be honest, right? There's just sitting, which is not good for our overall health. And especially as we get older, we have to make sure that we exercise and maintain our muscle mass, because that is one of the biggest indicators of living well into your 80s and 90s is maintaining your muscle mass. So it's one of the easiest ways and most effective ways to boost your lymphatic system is to go for a walk. You can even do skipping ropes. You can do a little bit of jumping to activate your lymphatic flow. And this doesn't have to be for that long, but even if it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day, lifting weights is another great way as well. Dancing, doing home workout videos, cooking, anything where you're bending, where you're doing household chores, where you're walking, you're working, you're cleaning, you're bending down, picking up your dishes or things like that. They also really count as exercise and movement, and gets your joints going, gets your muscles going. And of course, you know, ideally we'd like you to work out maybe 3 times a week. But if that's not possible, even these activities like this, even if it's a family hike, can benefit your lymphatic system and improve your immune function. So number 4 is rebounding. So when they were little, who used to love doing bounce on trampolines? That is actually one of the greatest ways that you can boost your lymphatic flow. Because like I mentioned before, the lymphatic vessels don't have a lot of muscle around them, right? So we need to almost use gravity and movement to boost that lymphatic flow. And this also increases the drainage of the fluids and the removal of toxins. So you just kind of sit and you do this, but before you do rebounding or before you even do dry brushing, like I mentioned, you want to activate those lymphatic nodes and lymphatic drainage ducts first, because that way it can work much faster. Number 5 is dry brushing and healing baths. So dry brushing is when before you go to take a shower, for example, you have this like a bamboo bristle brush, and you just kind of use it all over your body, and you brush in a circular motion, for example, and this helps to slough off excess skin cells, but also unclog pores and stimulate the lymphatic system. So because I mentioned the lymphatic system, a lot of those drainage points are kind of in the chest area, under the armpit, right right across the chest, and in the groin region. You want to do this brushing in upward movements, okay? So upward strokes towards the center of your body, because that's where the lymphatic drainage is most prominent, and we want to do it up there. So dry brushing you can do every day. It's very relaxing too, and it helps with reducing stress as well. Number 5. So healing baths is another great one. So you can add Epsom salt, essential oils, sea salt, and ginger, things that can help you feel relaxed. So even oils like lavender, great for relaxation, boosting your immune system. Epsom salt baths is predominantly made up of magnesium. So that helps to relax your smooth muscles when you have a tough, long day at work. So that can also help with reducing inflammation and boosting your lymphatic circulation. So these strategies, try to do at least one every day. If you're especially experiencing those swollen lower limbs, or difficulty with walking, or some of those signs I mentioned, like fatigue, brain fog, or chronic colds. You can even do the dry brushing on your face in circular motion, and you want to move it towards your neck. So you want to flow down to your neck and down the neck into the area where you have the big drainage ducts. So these are like great options to do if you're feeling that water retention and the lymphatic congestion. Number 6 is specific herbs. So there's lots of different herbs that can promote the movement of the smooth muscles, but it can also boost your immune system too. So Turkey rhubarb is one of those herbs that can help with movement, in detoxification, cleansing, and helps with constipation. So it works a little bit like a laxative, but let's say you have congested and you have this bloating and water retention, that will help you go more. A sheep sorrel is another herb to help reduce inflammation. It's great for respiratory problems, swelling, and once again, diarrhea. So you can just use a little bit in your soups and sauces to get that extra benefit. Slippery elm bark is great, one of my favorites for any kind of sore throats, any kind of infections in the respiratory system. It really helps to soothe your sore throats. And it can also actually work really well for heartburn too, because it's a very soothing herb. So there's also a few other teas that you can use as well. So any kind of tea that has astragalus root in it can help boost your immune system. So when you boost your immune system, you get a little bit of extra kick for the lymphatic system too. It's great for your heart health, blood sugar issues. And then there's also graviola that can help with blood pressure, blood sugar problems, stomach concerns, and infections. So I mentioned, like, with all of these herbs, it's very important to come speak to a healthcare practitioner such as myself first. That way we can give you the right individualized protocol for you. So even things like bioactive carbon, which can act as a binder. So like I mentioned, the lymphatic system, right, is mostly for clearing away excess toxins. So if it's sluggish and congested, then we need to give it some help with the clearing away of these toxins. So bioactive carbon, activated charcoal, psyllium husk or psyllium fiber can also help with binding and releasing the excess toxins that might be in your body. So number 7 is one of my favorites. I know this might sound bad, because especially when you are in the hot and when the weather is getting cold, but alternating showers, hot, cold showers is so good. It's a very quick way to get your lymphatic system boosted. So usually what I do is I do 2 to 3 minutes of a hot shower. This can reduce your pain, muscle tension, reduce anxiety, and improve relaxation. And then you do 30 seconds of the cold. So the cold increases your wakefulness. It tightens up the muscles. It boosts your immune system, stimulates it, and it can also improve fat burning and lean body tissue. And then you do another cycle of that. So 2 more minutes of hot, and then 30 seconds of cold again. And you do it again, and you end off in the 30 seconds of cold. Now, if you do this once, you'll realize you actually feel so good afterwards. So an alternating hot-cold shower is one of the easiest ways that you can boost your lymphatic system. And like I mentioned before you do this, you can, once again, do the massage. So you want to massage towards your body in circular motion to open up those lymphatic ducts first. That way you get the most improvements from this. And the last strategy is massage therapy. So, there's a lot of benefits in massage therapy. For example, of course, it can help with reducing the tension in muscles, relieving stress, enhance circulation, and improving joint mobility as well. And there's a specific kind of massage called the lymphatic drainage massage, which is a little bit lighter and gentler, but it really helps to stimulate your movement of lymphatic fluid and can help with reducing bloating, reducing fluid retention, improving your stamina, and clearing out these excess toxins. So if this is something you're interested in, you can talk to our massage therapist, Michael, who will be able to give you a lot more information on this. But this is a great technique if you're really experiencing a lot of swelling or a lot of pain. This will be more of a manual therapy to help clear out those excess that fluid stagnation. So this is the bonus strategy, is infrared sauna therapy. So why I love the sauna. I tell all my patients, if you can, please go sit in a sauna for 20 minutes, get that good sweat going, and then you come back, because it really activates it has so many health benefits for you. It activates your autophagy, so which means that all the cells that aren't working properly, they die off because they can't, they need to be working efficiently. It facilitates detoxification. There's better insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, increases your growth hormones, and can improve your physical endurance. And of course, it detoxes and you sweat out. So you want to make sure you're drinking lots of water. When you're doing the sauna, you have to make sure you're feeling replenished. And I usually say, 20 minutes is more than enough, or until you have a good sweat going on. And you can do this once a week for the best improvements in health. You might even be able to do it a couple of times a week, but it really has a lot of health benefits, not just for the lymphatic system, but for the whole body overall. So clearing our lymphatic system is very important, for our immune system and for protecting us against inflammation and illness. So when it's congested, you'll know, because you'll feel the swelling. You'll feel the swelling in the face, in the lymphatic nodes, but sometimes you might not know it, but you might feel like you've been getting sick often, or colds and flus constantly. So these are all signs that your lymphatic system could be congested, and we need some of the 8 strategies I mentioned to help it moving freely and smoothly, so that way you know that your lymphatic system is on its best game and is able to help you with healing. So thank you so much for coming into this talk and joining us for this educational talk. I hope you learned so much and, are able to adapt some of these tips into your lifestyle. And so just want to give a recap of our upcoming events that is coming up. On October 15th, we got cosmetics and the forever chemical, talk on that and how to prevent accumulation of these chemicals in our bodies. How to improve our circulation is coming up. If your mid-back is stiff after a long day, here are some exercises from Dr. Justine to help you move better, feel better, be more flexible. And we have a makeover coming up as well called Beyond the Belly Ache, about how to decode your digestive system. So lots of interesting, amazing talks coming up. And we hope you stay connected with us. And we'd love to hear your feedback on. If you have any ideas for talks as well, you can let us know. Have a great evening, everybody. And let's stay tuned and let's connect with our next talk.